When was the last time you sat alone with a single thought and finished it? Not scrolled, not switched tabs, not checked a notification vibrating in your pocket. Just one thought, from beginning to end. Across the world, millions of people wake up and reach for the same glowing rectangle before their feet touch the ground. Different cultures, different languages, same ritual. And slowly, almost invisibly, something has changed. You used to read books for hours. You used to watch long interviews. You used to sit in silence without feeling restless. Now your mind itches after 30 seconds. You open a tab, forget why you opened it. You start a video, skip ahead, check another app, return, and feel exhausted without doing anything. You think you're just distracted. But what if you're being conditioned? What if the collapse of your attention span isn't a personal failure, but a systemic design? Tonight we talk about the war on your focus and why brain rot isn't an accident, it's an asset, as George Orwell warned. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face, forever. Most people think that boot looks like violence, but what if today it looks like entertainment? The engineered collapse of attention. You've heard the term brain rot. Endless scrolling, short clips, hyper-edited noise, information stripped of depth and fed to you in fragments. But brain rot isn't stupidity, it's fragmentation. Your attention is being broken into microseconds because a fragmented mind is easier to steer. Deep thought requires time, silence, discomfort, uninterrupted focus. And deep thought is dangerous. Because when you think deeply, you question. When you question, you disconnect from automatic obedience. When you disconnect, you become unpredictable. Modern platforms are not neutral tools. They are precision-built attention extraction machines. The longer you stay, the more data they collect. The more data they collect, the better they can predict you. The better they predict you, the easier you are to influence. This isn't conspiracy, it's economics. Your attention is the product. Your distraction is the revenue model. If you can't hold a single complex idea in your head for more than 60 seconds, you cannot challenge complex systems. You react, you don't analyze. You feel outrage, but you don't investigate. You share headlines, but you don't read reports. You argue in comments, but you never sit alone and map the full picture. And a reactive population is a controllable population. Think about it. When you are constantly stimulated, your brain craves novelty. Calm feels boring. Long-form thinking feels painful. Silence feels threatening. So you run back to noise, and noise prevents depth. You think you are consuming content, but content is consuming you, because every swipe trains your brain to prefer speed over substance, and a brain trained for speed cannot tolerate stillness. Stillness is where reflection happens. Reflection is where awareness grows. Awareness is where obedience weakens. A distracted mind doesn't rebel. It complies. Not because it agrees, but because it's too tired to resist. Rebuilding deep focus in a distracted world. The solution is not to smash your phone. It's not to run to the mountains. It's not to pretend technology doesn't exist. The solution is to rebuild depth deliberately. Focus is like a muscle. And right now, most people are mentally malnourished. You must train your mind to endure boredom again. Start small. 10 minutes without switching tasks. No music, no notifications, no background noise. Just you and one difficult idea. It will feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is withdrawal, because your brain has been conditioned to expect constant dopamine spikes. When you remove them, your nervous system protests. Stay anyway. Read long-form books again, physical pages if possible. Write by hand. Journal your thoughts without interruption. When you consume information, slow it down. Pause after a paragraph. Ask yourself, what does this actually mean? Do I agree? Why? Force your brain to connect dots instead of skim surfaces. Protect your mornings. Protect your nights. Do not allow the first input of your day to be someone else's agenda. Silence is not empty. It is strategic. Because when you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your autonomy. Daily habits to break digital brain. Here's how you apply this starting today. First, create friction. Move addictive apps off your home screen. Turn off non-essential notifications. Make distractions slightly inconvenient. The brain chooses the path of least resistance. Change the path. Second, schedule deep blocks. 1 hour daily where you work on a single cognitively demanding task. No switching. No checking. Even if productivity feels low at first, consistency rewires the brain. Third, practice intentional boredom. Stand in line without your phone. Sit in a room without audio. Walk without headphones. Let your thoughts surface. You will notice something surprising. At first, your mind feels chaotic. Then slowly, patterns appear. Questions form. Insights connect. This is your natural intelligence reawakening. Fourth, consume long-form conversations. Lectures, books, essays. Train your attention to stretch beyond 30-second clips. Endurance returns the same way it left, gradually. And finally, audit your inputs. Ask yourself, does this content sharpen me or scatter me? If it scatters you repeatedly, it is not harmless entertainment. It is erosion. The war on your attention span is quiet. It does not look like oppression. It looks like convenience. But convenience that weakens your capacity to think is not neutral. It is control disguised as comfort. You cannot build an independent life with a dependent mind. And the most radical act in this era is not loud rebellion. It is sustained, uninterrupted, deep thought. Because when you can sit with one idea long enough to understand it fully, you are no longer easy to program. And the system does not fear loud people. It fears focused ones.